Trump, welcome back to the Savage Nation.
Thank you, Michael, very much.
Well, we know you're way up in the polls, and we hope that you keep climbing, and I really pray to God you can become president and save America. It's all over the media. I don't know if you want to confirm or deny. It says Trump picks Pence. What's the story?
No, I haven't made that decision yet. I'll make it today probably, or maybe tomorrow. But I'm going to announce it tomorrow at 11, Michael, and you'll be one of the people. Maybe you'll be there even, but I'll be announcing it in New York City tomorrow at about 11 o'clock.
Okay, very important that we hear this because this is a big, big, big deal. Well, let's go on to other points, Mr. Trump, in the short time we have. Everyone is so thrilled that you came back to this show, and, you know, I'm an honest guy in the media. I kind of say it like I feel. I don't think as carefully as I should somehow, but the fact is, people were saying, hey, where's Donald Trump? Now that he's so popular, he won't come back. He's moved to the center. I said, no, just wait. He'll be back. He's true to his cause. So, again, I have to say, that's what they're saying now all over my Facebook. Thank God Trump is back. And, you know, yesterday you said you're going to build a wall. You confirmed that again, correct?
Oh, 100%. And it's very popular. We put it in the platform. It's in the Republican platform. I don't know if you saw that, but that was sort of one of the things that I'm very proud of. We did something else for the evangelicals, which is going to be fantastic. We're going to get rid of this Johnson change that was made years ago where it takes the power away from evangelicals and others of religion, and you'll see some things happening there that are going to be very good. We have some very good things put in the platform. One of the things put in, though, is the wall. And as far as being back to you, you've been so amazing to me, Michael. Of course I'd be back. I never heard anything. Otherwise, I would have called you 5 different times already.
You know what it is, Donald? Look, your campaign has gotten so big. You've got so many layers of people. I don't have the desire to trouble you, with calls. But the fact of the matter is, I know that you're loyal to this audience. We are your base. We'll always be there for you. And the times right now are so troubled. We are in such troubled times, such dangerous water. I don't want to go into the litany of what Obama's been doing with this police business. All I can say is that unless you win, many of us are afraid this country is over. That's the absolute truth.
Well, Michael, I'm the law and order candidate, and I have a big heart. Believe me, I treat people fairly, but I'm the law and order candidate, and our police are being absolutely treated terribly. You look at what's going on, and they'll take a bad incident or 2 bad incidents or 3, but they don't show the millions of incredible things that take place over the course of a year. And, they're very restricted, and they are very, very concerned. The police of this country, these are great people that do a great job, and every once in a while, something will happen. I didn't like those 2 events, and you didn't like them either, Michael. You saw those 2 events that took place last week. And
no, I went on the air saying I can't believe what I'm watching. It looks like an execution, but that's not an excuse to attack the thin blue line. It's all we've got between us and the wolves.
Right. Well, you didn't like them, and I didn't like them. And whether it's training or whether it was just bad in terms of bad people, you just don't know. But I hated to watch that. I thought it was disgraceful. And maybe they'll have commissions ruling, and maybe there's something that you and I didn't see. But I'm pretty good at looking at things, and I hated it. With that being said, our police are incredible people. They do an incredible job. They don't get credit for the job they do. And we have to have law and order, and I am the law and order candidate. Hillary Clinton is not a candidate with law and order. I am the law and order candidate.
Well, how could she be law and order when she just broke the law through her disorder, as we saw through those fake hearings? Donald, I have to ask you something. You just said you, Michael, didn't like those pictures of the 2 black guys being killed by the cops. How did you happen to know that? Did you actually hear my show? I don't think you're able to listen to the show while you're on the road, or did someone tell you that?
I heard you say it. I heard you say it on a show. And I you know what? I heard you say it on the show. I do listen to your show. A lot of people listen to your show. I don't even know if you know how many people. So many people come up and they say, Michael Savage loves you. I say, well, that's good news. I think that's true. Look, I did hear you say it in the show. I think if I didn't hear you say it in the show, I'd almost be able to guess it, to be honest, because that was a terrible picture that I witnessed.
Donald, we both grew up breathing clean Alley Pond Park air. I was on the other side of Union Turnpike, but it was the same air. We learned how to think clearly, and we know what clear air is. Donald, you just said something very interesting. My audience, which is very big, just nominated me to the Radio Hall of Fame. Did you hear about that yet or not?
That I have not heard about. I think you deserve it, but that I have not heard about.
Well, it was a big contest that listeners themselves could vote on, and the important point of my mentioning that is that on November 17th in Chicago, after you have won the election, I'm going to the Radio Hall of Fame to be inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame with Walter Winchell and some other greats. I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you consider inducting me into the National Radio Hall of Fame?
Well, where is that, and what was the exact date?
November 17th in Chicago.
Michael, that's like an eternity.
Okay. No, I hear you. I understand, but I'm going to put it back out through your assistance, and it would be our great honor to have you do that, because this will be in the perennial Hall of Fame forever. And I don't think I'm that bad a guy that people would be afraid to associate with me, especially after the election.
No, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You really do. You deserve it, and your audience deserves it, too. It's just such a long distance away. I just don't know what I'll be doing on that time. I mean, who knows? Maybe negotiating with Russia so that we get, or maybe, by the way, maybe negotiating a trade deal with China so we stop losing the kind of money we're losing dealing with China. Maybe doing other things. So I don't know, Michael, but if I could, or if I could be a part of it in some way, I would be honored to. You are doing a great job, and you've been loyal to me from the beginning, and I appreciate it.
Let's go into the platform, if you got a few minutes for the audience today. What are the other items, other than building the wall, that is on your platform, Donald? A few quick points, please.
Well, we do. We have many items. We have a strong military, very strong military. We have very, very strong on trade, because people have gotten what I said about trade. And, we're all talking about free trade and fair trade. And my trade is basically, we want to make great deals for this country. Whether you call it free or fair, I could give you 10 different names for trade. I know every one of them. But the trade is about making great deals for our country. We don't make good deals for our country on anything. But very, very important is borders. We want strong borders. We're going to have not only the wall, we're going to have strong borders, because right now we're like Swiss cheese. And as you probably heard, my endorsements from Border Patrol agents, and 16,500 Border Patrol agents, and Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who's the toughest and a fair guy, but the tough guy on the border, they've all endorsed me, which, frankly, they have never done that before. The Border Patrol agents have never endorsed a presidential candidate before. So we're going to have strong borders. We're going to have many things, and many, many great things. Many of the things I'm talking about. We're going to defend our Second Amendment, very strong, always obvious, but we're going to defend our Second Amendment, which, as you know, is under siege.
Savage. Well, Donald, this is so important to me. As a trained epidemiologist, I earned my doctorate at UC Berkeley in that field and others. And the fact is that Mr. Obama has not only been flooding America with immigrants who cannot or will not work, he's bringing in people who have brought back illnesses that were once basically eliminated in America. Tuberculosis was almost wiped out. I can name 5 other diseases. He is bringing in diseased immigrants. We need a revamping inside the National Institutes of Health, and especially the Centers for Disease Control, because they're nothing but politicized hacks who do the president's bidding. They're no longer independent scientists. I'm going to say right now, Donald, I know it's a long way off. If you become president, I would offer my services for $1 a year to help you with that. I know an awful lot about it. It's a disaster to bring in diseased immigrants. Don't you agree?
Well, that's what's happening, and people don't like talking about it, and certainly it's not politically correct to talk about it, and that's why they don't do it, because everything we do today has to do with political correctness. If something's a little bit off just a little bit, they'd say, oh, please don't mention that. Even my people tell me don't mention that, but I decide to mention things anyway. Even though I know it's going to end up being a firestorm, I mention them anyway. But there's something that's one of the other elements, and the people are pouring into this country, and in many cases, they're not well people, and we have, in many respects. And
right, well, it's a fact. I don't see how people can argue with a fact. When my grandfather came over from Russia, you remember the movie The Godfather, when little Vito Corleone was put into quarantine because he had some infectious disease? Yep. They walk across the border now with Zika, TB, malaria, doesn't matter. and then they dispense throughout the population. It's crazy. No sane society on earth has ever done this. Anyway, I don't want to drag you into the realities of this because you have plenty of other things to deal with that are probably higher on your priority list. Obama has destroyed race relations in our nation. Everyone acknowledges that. Even liberals are frightened right now what he is doing. How can you fix this, Donald, when you become president? How?
So he's the great divider, and I had hoped that when he got in, I had no great feeling that he was going to be a great president, but what I did have a feeling that he would be a cheerleader for the country, and he would be somebody that could bring people together, perhaps. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. He's turned out to be far worse than anybody understands in terms of division. He's the great divider. And we need somebody, obviously, we need jobs. We need all of those things. We need incentives, but we need jobs. And we're going to bring back jobs from other countries. We're going to bring back jobs from Mexico. We're not going to let these countries take our companies like they do, like we're babies. But one very important thing, I will be a cheerleader for this country. We're going to be a cheerleader for this country because right now our country has absolutely no spirit. You see what's going on in our cities now with the crime and the problems and the horrible situations that are occurring and really occurring, and you're seeing it very much over the last 2 weeks. But we will bring back spirit, and I will be a great cheerleader, among other things, for the country.
Donald, but I think that's why you appeal to women and to minorities. It's because they also, I'm talking about the middle class in the minority groups. They want the American dream. They don't want a revolution. They don't want division. They don't want races fighting with each other. They came here to build a better life. And they want someone like you, and I've said it 100 times, who they can look up to give them a part of the American dream. And that brings us right to Hillary herself. She calls you divisive when she wants to carry forward Obama's identity politics. The exact opposite of what she's saying. She's the one who'll divide the nation even further. We all know that.
Well, what she got away with her emails, I think it may be her greatest accomplishment, if you want to know the truth, because you look at the mistakes she's made. But I think her single greatest accomplishment will be the fact that she got rid of 33,000 emails and nobody even called her on it. She was proven to be a liar, and the director said she was a liar. The director of the FBI said she was a liar, and nothing happened. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think it's her greatest accomplishment in life.
Donald, I know you're busy and you've got to run, but I want to say this. I hope you pick Mr. Pence over the G-Man for a number of reasons. Mr. Pence is new. He's fresh. He has a wonderful background and a wonderful family. He's not burdened with any baggage, and I think he's going to make a fabulous vice president and also really, I think, make the team 100% stronger.
Well, he's a great guy, and they're all good. I mean, and many more beyond the three that you're talking about. We had some incredible people, and I haven't made that final decision, but I'll be announcing it tomorrow at 11, and you'll be listening, and I really appreciate your support. And if I can help you with your induction, if I can, I will do it in one form or the other. Before you go,
I'm going to resend the announcement of that win, which was this Monday. I sent it to your assistants. I don't think they got it to you because of, what's going on. We'll make sure that you get a quick look at that story because you'll be quite surprised to find out who I was running against. Donald, you're a very competitive man. And I remember during your primaries, you went at your competitors with tooth and claw. People accused you of being too aggressive, too this, too that. And you said, no, first I have to beat them to get where I want to go. Remember that?
I do. We have to win.
I have the same kind of competitive streak in me. And so I beat the number one, guy in radio who was running against me. And I said he's a wonderful guy and a great competitor after the fight, as boxers do after a fight. They embrace each other. But I ran against a very, very hard couple of candidates, Donald. And I want to, again, say to you, keep fighting. Don't let them move you away from your points. In my opinion, it's what got you there that will get you there. That's the only thing I want to say.
Well, I appreciate that, Michael, and I will. We will be fighting right till the end, and hopefully we'll win. And the expression, make America great again, that's what we're going to do.
Donald Trump, God bless you. I can't wait to see the inauguration. All I want is an umbrella and a ticket.
You will have it. Thank you, Michael.
God bless America. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Savage.